Alright, so if you're here from TikTok, subscribe! But if you're not, promising young woman follows Cassie as she spends her days working at a small coffee house and her nights pretending to be blackout drunk so that creepy guys will take her home and, try and do some nasty. And then she reveals that she's been sober the whole time and messes with them. We slowly learn throughout the movie about the traumatizing experiences that got her to this point as she falls in love and learns how to let go of that time of her life. Okay, this movie is fantastic. Bam. Spoiler-free review out of the way. So now we're getting into spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, you can check out the actual full spoiler-free review on my TikTok. But here, we're going in full spoilers, baby. So let's go. This movie does an amazing job at playing with your expectations. The whole idea of this movie is how the people that perceive themselves as the nice guys are usually the dirtbags. It plays with how you view nice guys and bad guys. Like, I was not mentally prepared for Bo Burnham to be one of those guys. And I think that was actually kind of the point. Because everybody, I don't think there's a person in this world who hates Bo Burnham. He's such a nice, accepting guy, but at the same time, doesn't put up with racist or misogynistic bullshit. So when it was revealed that his character Ryan is actually, he participated in some of the terrible things that Cassie's friend Nina went through, it was a total shock, and it just felt everything in my body just sink to the floor in disappointment. And I also found myself trying to rationalize with Ryan, being like, oh well, he didn't do anything, and I caught myself thinking that I'm like, oh my god, this is what the movie is trying to address, this mindset of rationalizing and, oh, I was just a kid. That was the point of the movie, to show you how easy it is to just fall into that mindset, and how, that's just unacceptable, because look at how much harm it can do somebody. The one thing that I didn't like about this movie still serves a purpose. When you watch this film, it looks light and breezy. It's almost shot as an artsy comedy, with bright colors, and it's super easy to look at, symmetrical shots that just calm your mind. However, what throws that all off is the haunting score and the grotesque dialogue. It's a brilliant concept that I've never seen done so discreetly before. Because as you're watching this, what your eyes perceive to be such a, maybe even to the point of a fluffy comedy, your brain perceives this as this dark, dramatic story. The only thing I didn't like about it was that at times the dramatic haunting music that was playing just took me out of the movie a little bit, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of music that's happening right now. But that was the point. It just didn't sit well with me. Just it took me out of the film is what I'm trying to say. But it worked for what it was trying to do, but I just wasn't the biggest fan of that choice. Another thing that I thought this movie accomplished very well was really how Carey Mulligan's character arc went nowhere. The film builds towards Cassie, getting away from this terrible life that she's been living for the past 10 years. And you see her start to love this trusting man and starts to go back into, herself, or as her parents put it. And once it's revealed that Ryan is just one of these guys that she's been fighting against for the past almost, I think, a decade, she just falls back into her old ways and, ends up paying the ultimate price for it. From an outside perspective, hearing that story, you would think that, oh, this is a tragedy. It's so sad that she's going back into this. You feel bad for her. Instead, as a viewer of the movie, you don't feel that way. Hell, Casey ends up dying in the end of this movie, but you don't feel bad about it. You actually kind of feel good for her, because that's what she wanted. Once the story ends, you kind of realize that Cassie died once Nina died. Once Nina went through that terrible experience, Cassie it engulfed her, and she died, and this promising young woman kind of came up. Cassie, at that point, didn't care about her life and just wanted vengeance, and that's what she got. Once she found out that Bo Burnham's character Ryan was just, another one of these tools, she just slipped back into what she had been going for the past decade, and she got what she was going for. She got the ultimate payoff. The film had been building towards Cassie wanting to get vengeance on these men, and she did. They got sent to jail because of her. She got what she wanted. She avenged her friend, who she loved with all of her heart. And so, it messes with you. This film is a masterpiece of playing with your expectations, and a brilliant take on our modern society and how we treat women. and men in that regard. I give this movie a 9 out of 10, and if you haven't seen it, go and see it. I know movie theaters are opening up now, and through the list of all the movies that are out, I would say this one is at number 1, if you're over the age of 15. Go see this movie.